Rise and shine. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jijoho. I'm your host, your host with the mostest. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about investing in Africa, making money in Africa, and possibly moving to the African continent because your investments, your money-making moves could possibly not come to fruition if you're not here, like at least 9 months out of the year. Right. So today's video, I wanted to talk about two industries that are making the most money, and that will make that, I mean, two industries that will make you very successful and very wealthy if you know that's your niche, if that's what you're good at. And those industries are obviously, as I've said before, agriculture and real estate. Okay, there are other industries that we can talk about, but today I'm just going to focus on agriculture and real estate. I'm going to try and tell you guys why. You ought to be in those industries, okay? But before you continue, okay, just make sure you have a bit of passion because you're gonna need it, right? So agriculture, one thing people do not understand about agriculture, when people think about African agriculture, they think about, you know, like poor farmers in villages, you know, like archaic farming. Yeah, that's true. It is a big majority of agricultural farming in Africa. But one thing you need to understand is that before African countries discovered other resources, other natural resources like oil and gas, the wealthiest men in Africa, the wealthiest billionaires in Africa were mostly farmers. And the majority of the wealthy men in today's world, in today's age, wealthy men and women in Africa are not in oil and gas, they are still in farming. Whether it's from Cameroon to South Africa to Morocco, right, to Cote d'Ivoire, it's still in farming. Like, you need to ask yourself this question: why do you think land reform in South Africa is such a big debate? Because land produces wealth for generations to come. So agriculture is one of the main industries you have to get into, because at the end of the day, no society ever really fully develops unless it invests heavily in agriculture. Okay, countries like South Korea have shown us that you can really get out of poverty when you really hold into industries like agriculture. Europe during the industrial age, you know, couldn't have been what it is without, you know, slavery, but also without agriculture. Same for the US. Agriculture was pivotal to their success. Okay, industrialization helped them, you know, maximize their earning potential and what they got out of the land. But it is what it is. So when it comes to agriculture, you can legitimately get like 2.5 acres, which is 1 hectare of land, for less than $1,000 in some countries, right? But they're most likely going to be villages like a bit far from the main cities. So you're definitely going to need a car in order for you to, you know, move and about. But if you don't want to buy 2.5 acres worth of land or hectares worth of land, you can legit lease or rent that amount of land for whatever agricultural production you wanna engage in, with like maximum $100 a month. You can legit rent that for like maximum, I'm talking about $100 a month, and everything you grow you keep. You know, you sign a contract with a landowner, you know, you list the land, you do whatever you want, you know. Maybe you would have made enough money from the things you're selling, you know, to buy the land yourself. If you really feel like, oh, this is something that I really want to get into, you can legit, even here in Benin Republic, you can get plots of land for less than $1,000. Okay, my brothers has hectares and hectares, you know, like acres and acres worth of land that have cost them less than $1,000, but they're far away from the city. So you're definitely going to need a car to get there. There's a reason why some of the wealthiest families in Europe own vineyards. They own they own wineries, they own land where they grow wine. You know, there's a town called Champagne in France, you know, where they produce nothing but champagne, you know, to the point where they've been able to trademark the name Champagne, that anything else is sparkling wine or sparkling water, whatever it is that you want to call it. There's wealth in agriculture. Don't let people fool you, okay? Instead of wanting to be a rapper, instead of wanting to, you know, be an artist, instead of wanting to be, you know, something that, you know, you possibly are not passionate about, you know what I'm saying? Think about, you know what I'm saying, becoming a farmer and then innovating whatever industry it is that you find yourself in. Agriculture, you gotta be into it for the long term, okay? Some of the wealthiest men, the two of the wealthiest men in my country, currently Benin Republic, are billionaires, and they all made their billion in agriculture. Okay, one is into poultry farming, like livestock, fish farming and all that stuff, and the other is into the cotton transportation and cotton growing industry. You can make money in agriculture. Don't let people fool you. You can't make money. I read comments all the time. People telling me, "Oh, African agriculture is archaic." Yes, it is, and that is an opportunity for you to innovate and make money. African, the whole current situation of African countries is so ripe for innovative entrepreneurs. Everybody's rushing to tech, everybody's rushing to blah 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 blah, but the fundamentals have still not been met. Okay, so great. Your employees are in tech and all. You paying them well, but when it comes to food production, like all the budget is going to go into exported food that costs a lot more. Why not focus on growing the food yourself? Why not focusing on becoming an agriculture tycoon, like many of the wealthy families in Senegal? Like literally, one of the wealthiest men in Senegal has a company called Sedima. Poultry farming. I mean, it is part of agriculture, guys. Okay, like in every country in Africa, the majority of the wealthiest families in Africa are all into the agriculture sector. That is why you see a lot of disparities in South Africa, because some people control the resources of the land to produce food and the others don't. 70% to 60 to 70% of Africa's arable land has still not been touched. And Africa has more than 50% of the world's arable land. And 60 to 70% of that land here in Africa has not been touched. And the 30% that's being used is not being used at full capacity, which means that African countries can still hone down into 30% of those lands that are being used and still feed all the whole continent and possibly the world. Number two, real estate is still tied to the land, okay? Buying property, buying land, holding land, building on land, and leasing out and selling is a very profitable business. Ghanaian entrepreneurs are beginning to master this art. Ghanaian real estate entrepreneurs, Nigerian real estate entrepreneurs, Ivorian real estate entrepreneurs are beginning to master this art of real estate, and they still haven't even touched it. They still haven't even left the tip of the iceberg before they can, go all the way down. Real estate makes the most money. Why? Because listen, you need to understand that African cities are heavily urbanized. Okay, the African continent has more cities with over 1 million inhabitants than any other continent in the world. Right? Even if it's not number one, it's definitely number two or number three. But it's one of the fastest growing urbanized continent. What does that mean? It's an opportunity for people that are into the real estate industry to start buying land, to start building houses that are going to meet the need of the housing demand that is going to be met in the future. Because again, like I'm saying, the supply and demand. Supply and demand, my friend. Okay, the fundamentals of business. Okay, if a city is growing at maximum capacity, like in a couple of years now, 80 million people could possibly live in Lagos. Like how are people not buying land outside of Lagos, like on the outskirts of Lagos that are not yet urbanized, is mind-blowing to me. It's completely mind-blowing. Like, you gotta start investing in Lagos. You gotta start investing in Mombasa. You gotta start investing in real estate in Nairobi. You gotta start investing in real estate in Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, dude, we literally stayed at an Airbnb in some place in Cote d'Ivoire for like $900 for like 3 days. And it was like one of the smallest apartments. It was more expensive than an Airbnb in Paris. Guys, I don't think you understand. Like, it's crazy. Real estate is highly profitable. It's a high margin business long term in any African country you want to venture into because of high rates of urbanizations. People are leaving the villages to come look for opportunities in the cities. That's great for real estate entrepreneurs, and you know what I'm saying? Also great for people who want to get into the farming industries because you have less competition in the villages when it comes to your farming business. Guys, I believe I've already spoken too much, right? But at the end of the day, you need to understand, like, all these people wanting to go towards tech is great, but don't forget the fundamental industries that have developed a country. You got real estate, you got education, you got, you got infrastructure, which is part of real estate. And power lines, electricity and all that stuff. you got education, you have agriculture. Huh? Guys, I mean, those are the pillars that we keep talking about when it comes to, you know, developing a nation or developing a whole continent. You know what I'm saying? Get with the program, start doing your research. Don't let the media manipulate you and lie to you. And also don't forget to follow me on social media at IamGJoho. And also don't forget to sign up to the newsletter linked below. Okay, we'll soon, okay, we'll start creating content for the newsletter, and you guys will not, I mean, there's gonna be so much useful information that is gonna be mind-blowing. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I'm gonna be seeing you guys like next time, okay? I mean, like, the next time, I'm gonna be seeing you guys soon, okay?